morning everyone and welcome to Phú Lợi Prison. This is one of the most significant historical relics in Bình Dương province. My name is Thuong-Ha and I'm very happy to guide you through this meaningful historical site. The gate was made of thick concrete and iron, while symbolized imprisonment, control and suffering. But today, it stands as a symbol of freedom, resilience and gratitude, a reminder of how far our country has come. Phú Lợi prisons were originally built by the French colonialists around 1957. After that, it was taken over and expanded by the Saigon government, supported by the United States. It was used to detain thousands of Southern revolutionaries, including soldiers, students, and patriotic civilians. This monument is not just a reminder of pain, but also a tribute to the courage, sacrifice, and unbreakable spirit of those who fought for our freedom. Before we start our tour, let me give you a quick overview of the layout of Phú Lợi Prison historical site. As you can see on this map, the site is divided into several key areas that reflect different functions of the prison during wartime. The first area is the entrance and central monument. This is where we learn about the prison's history and pay tribute to the victims of the 1958 Phú Lợi massacre. The second area includes the prison cells Block A and B, where prisoners live in dark, narrow, and overcrowded rooms. Next, we have the blockhouse, a concrete guard tower used by soldiers to monitor and control the prisoner. And finally, we will visit the exhibition and community area, where many photos, documents, and artifacts are displayed. Now we are standing in front of the blockhouse, one of the most important remaining structures of Phú Lợi Prison. This blockhouse was built with thick concrete walls and narrow gun holes. It served as a guard tower and defense point, allowing the guards to control and monitor all movement inside the prison. From here, they could easily watch over the prisoners and prevent any escape attempts. For the prisoners, this blockhouse was a symbol of fear and control. Armed soldiers stood here day and night, always ready to shoot at anyone who tried to resist or run away. It represented the harsh reality in colonial oppressions and the strict surveillance systems used against revolutionary fighters. The blockhouse has two main parts, the lower and the upper part. The lower part is a small enclosed room with narrow doors and small rectangular holes on the walls. These holes were used as a gun slots and observation points, allowing guards to watch the prisoners closely and fire if necessary. The upper part is a circular watch tower made of the same stone, giving guards a higher view of the entire prison yard. From up there, soldiers could easily control every movement inside the prison.
Good morning everyone and welcome to the main prison block of Phú Lợi Prison, one of the most haunting and unforgettable places in Vietnam history. And this is where thousands of Vietnamese revolutionaries were imprisoned, enduring inhuman conditions under the right regimes of Ngô Đình Diệm during the 1950s. And the main reason consisted of three large blocks and then Chi Lăng, Bạch Đằng and Đống Đa, and it's surrounded by two layers of high brick walls and dense paved white fence. And inside there were 9 detention rooms and labeled from A to N, built with thick red brick and iron doors. And each cell had almost no windows, so the prisoner lived in darkness day and night. And the floor you see here, this cold cement floor was where dozens of prisoners had to lie side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and with almost no space to move. And guards watched them day and night from two concrete watchtowers, and every movement was strictly monitored. And even the line were kept in to keep the prisoner dissolving and weak. And this is detention room C, one of the nine large detention rooms of Fuller prison. In each room like this, there were times 300 to 500 prisoners, and even to up 700 people had to stay in an extremely small and crowded space. In this dark and suffocating environment, they had to endure a serious lack of both food and water, spoiled rice, rotten fish, and salty water full of worms were what they had to swallow in order to survive. Many people became exhausted, constantly sick, yet they were never defeated. Not only was their body tortured, but their spirit was also tormented by beatings, interrogations, and constant fear. This was one witnessed countless screams, anger, and the silent tears of the revolutionary prisoners kept here. And right in the same prison air, the Fuller massacre occurred in December 1958. The Ngô Diệm regime poisoned the food and water, causing hundreds of political prisoners to die and be injured within just a few hours. The smell of poisoned rice, the cries for help, the heartbreaking screams, all of that was echoed throughout this courtyard. Now, let me take you to one of the most brutal areas of Fuller prison. Right here, you can see a barbed wire cage, a torture device designed to break both the body and the spirit of the prisoners. This triangular cage is extremely small, forcing inmates to sit with their backs bent and their bodies pressed tightly against sharp barbed wire. They could not move. Even a slight movement would cause deep cuts and unbearable pain. Most of the prisoners were stripped of their shirt and left here under the burning sun for 5 to 7 days. They were given no food, no water, and no medical care. Many fainted from unbearable pain, but the torture never stopped. And behind me is the barbed wire heater, and a form of prisoner detention in Whitey prison. And you can see this pit is built underground, about over 0.8 meter deep, 2.5 meters wide, and 4 meters long. The base were filled with sand, the sides were covered with cement, and the top was tightly sealed with layers of sharp barbed wire. During the hot season, up to 15 to 20 prisoners were packed inside at the same time. Right in front of you is the prisoner slaying floor, a place where political prisoners were forced to lie directly on this raw concrete ground. They were not allowed to sit up, stand, or even turn their bodies. Any movement would result in immediate beating by the guards. There were no barbed wire here, no chains or cages, but the suffering was just as brutal. When you stand here, you can almost feel the heavy silence, a silence that tells story of pain, courage, and sacrifice. The main prison block of Fuller is not just a place of imprisonment. It is a place that reminds us of the unbreakable spirit of those who fought for freedom. As we leave this area, I hope you carry with you not just what you have seen, but what you have felt. Because this is not only history, it is a powerful reminder of the strength of the human. So, thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Thuong, and now I will introduce you about the exhibition's house of Fuller prisons, one of the most emotional stops on our journey today. When you walk straight inside, the first thing you will see is the screening room. is where documentary film and footage from the time and when Fuller Prison was still in operations are kept. These films bring back the story of courage and suffering of the revolutionary soldiers who fought inside the prisons, never surrendering despite the brutal totals of the colonialists and imperialists. In front of the screening room, you can see two displays showcasing personal items that the prisoner used, which have been carefully preserved until today. On your right-hand side is the artifact room, the area we are going to visit next. When you walk into this room, the first thing you will notice is the quiet atmosphere. But behind that silence, every photo, every model, and every object here carries a powerful story. Story of pain, courage, and the unbroken spirits of Vietnamese people. Around you are photographs and paintings that may look new, but they were created from the real memories and historical record that bring the past back to life, showing daily life inside the prisons, hard parlors, punishments, and the moments of unity and hope. At the center of the room, there is a miniature model of Fuller prisons, showing how the prisons was built with watchtower, with wall and narrow cells, and it has us imagine how the prisoner lived and how difficult the life they were. At the two corners at the back, you can see the statue creating the screen of prisoner being beaten, and the moment they stood up and fell back. They remind us that even under torture, our revolutionary soldier never give up. And here in front of us is a small wooden chest set made from rosewood. It was handcrafted by prisoners using broken metal pieces and rusty nails. To them, this was more than a game. It was the way to think, to plan, and to feel free in their mind. Even while their bodies were in chains, its move on the boat was an act of quiet resistance and the reminder that no one could imprison their spirits. On your left is a hand-embroidered pillowcase made by a female prisoner. She used small craft of clothes and thread pulled from the torn shirt. At the night, she sat in the dark, stretching flower and the name of her loved ones. The simple pillows carry love, hope, and her deep longing for freedom. Even in pain, she chose to create beauty, a symbol of strength and humanity. Every item, every statue, and every photo here tell a story. They remind us of the price of independence and the values of peace. For visitors from around the world, Fuller Prisons is not only about war, it's about love, courage, and the unbroken human spirit. I hope that when you leave this place, you will carry not only sadness, but also the deep respect and the renewed appreciation for freedom and peace. Thank you.
Now we are standing near the center blockhouse. This blockhouse was built in the center of the prison to control and watch all the prison blocks. It's made of a thick concrete walls with small holes for guns and observations. During wartime, soldiers stood here day and night to make sure that no prisoner could escape.
From this point, the guards could see all the directions, the cells, the yards, and the fences. It shows how strict and cruel the control system was at the Fuller prison. Today, this blockhouse is kept as a historical reminder of the harsh conditions that Vietnamese prisoners had to face, and it has visited imaging the life inside the prison many years ago.
Next, we move to the memorial statue, which is the heart of the whole site. This statue, called Cap of the Law or Expiration for the Freedom, it shows the hand rising up to the sky, symbolizing
for the strong spirit and hope for the independence of Vietnamese revolutionary. In front of the statue, you can see a stone statue with words to remember the people who died here during the Fuller massacre in 1958. Every year, local people, students, and veterans come here to light incense and offer flowers in memory of those brave souls. Standing here, we can feel both sadness and pride. Sadness for the pain of the past, and pride for the courage of our ancestors who fought for the freedom. This statue reminds everyone that peace and freedom are never free. They come from sacrifice and love the country. Finally, we are at the community area. This is the most peaceful part of the site, where visitors can rest and enjoy educational activity. This area is surrounded by trees, benches, and open space. It's used for the school trips, exhibitions, and traditional education programs about the patriotism and history. This place connects the past and the present, turning a painful memory into a lesson about peace and unity. Before leaving, please take a moment to look around. It's hard to imagine that this quiet and clean space was once part of a cruel prison.